I also had a topic I wanted to bring up to my seatmates regarding my position on my external boards and committees.
I'm going to try and go along with counsel at this point in time. Thank you.
Commissioner Menser?
If we were going along with counsel, Commissioner Edwards, there wouldn't be this issue at all because you would have followed counsel's advice not to impose this motion. So I think that's pretty.
That was not counsel's
easy.
direction, Commissioner Menser.
Wasn't direction, it was advice, but.
It was actually not advice. I will push back on that.
Okay, well, I will push back on the notion that Commissioner Edwards has been following the advice of counsel all through this process, because he has not, nor have you, frankly.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to reinstate Commissioner Clouse to external boards and commissions. Again, all those in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
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 Those in favor of not passing the motions, or no, those against the motion, say nay.
Hey.
Nay.
All right, it is 2-3. Motion fails.
If you enjoy our videos, you like what we do and you want to support what we do, best way you could do that is to like, share, comment, subscribe. All that stuff gets our videos out to more and more people so that more people can watch them, enjoy them, and hopefully learn a little something.
I also had a topic I wanted to bring up to my seatmates regarding my position on my external boards and committees. I have a couple things, but the first one is I'm seeking clarification on the motion that was made to remove me from my external boards and committees, as last week it was recommended by Commissioner Mejia at the Regional Housing Council meeting that I don't ask any questions during the meetings, but instead provide them in writing via email. And I just wanted to clarify that motion, as it was not my understanding that I was being suspended from speaking at meetings, but rather just attending as the representative and taking votes. Commissioner Fournier, you made the motion. If you'd like to clarify, that would be helpful.
Just trying to think it through. I think my intention, or my I guess my intention on the motion was that it would the alternate for the committee would be the representative of the board, and I would think that any of these meetings that are open to the public, anyone is able to attend, and whatever the rules of that board are for public comment, or what would govern that board or that committee, is kind of the way that I would understand it. But as far as being a voting member that is there to represent the board, kind of just, being frank, the intention was to limit liability of the county, since there was a lot that was unknown at that time, and then to also free up the commissioner to be able to deal with any ongoing investigation. But there's nothing restricting anybody from attending any of these open public meetings as a citizen and participating however their whatever the decorum is, or whatever the rules are of engagement for that board or that committee. That would be my understanding. If a commissioner that's a representative of the board wants, like if I'm going to attend the JASCOM meeting and you or Commissioner Menser or Commissioner Edwards had something that you wanted brought up at that meeting, there'd be nothing wrong with one of the other commissioners providing me with that comment for me to bring as that board representative. I think that makes sense.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
But I mean, maybe Commissioner Mejia has something that, as far as her intent.
No, that's kind of how I saw it as well. And so that's why I kind of made that reminder during the Regional Housing Council meeting.
Commissioner Edwards?
I guess, we all are in this very uncomfortable situation that we're having to deal with. And I think one of the issues here is we have been advised by counsel not to be discussing this particular issue at this time because Commissioner Clouse's counsel told our counsel not to be discussing it. So I don't want to get into any of the particulars, but I think you gave a satisfactory answer until we do get to the bottom of this. And I think for the, I guess, is this meeting a public meeting, isn't it, that we're having today?
It is, yes.
And so, I mean, the public should know that we don't enjoy this. I'm sure none of the parties involved enjoy this. But we are working within certain guidelines and been advised by counsel at the request of counsel to stay clear of this topic. So that might be why we haven't brought this up other than this. And I, no criticism of Commissioner Clouse wanting to clarify something, but so it isn't like we're going to have a kind of a conversation about this. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to try and go along with counsel at this point in time. Thank you.
Commissioner Menser?
If we were going along with counsel, Commissioner Edwards, there wouldn't be this issue at all because you would have followed counsel's advice not to impose this motion. So I think that's pretty.
That was not council's
easy.
direction, Commissioner Menser.
Wasn't direction, it was advice, but.
It was actually not advised. I will push back on that.
Okay, well, I will push back on the notion that Commissioner Edwards has been following the advice of counsel all through this process, because he has not, nor have you, frankly.
Okay.
Well, with that being said, I just want to bring to the board's attention that this Wednesday marks 100 days since the investigation into this complaint against me began. I have cooperated fully with the process, and the extended timeline has caused unnecessary delays and disruptions to county operations. The final written report has been pending for a number of weeks, yet there has been no update on its release. The ongoing delay has left my external boards and commissions burdened by my absence, and I can answer any questions about that you may have, as I've written down all of the dates and folks who have been absent or present during those meetings. This has limited the county's ability to fully participate in critical decision-making processes, and for these reasons, I move to reinstate myself to all external boards and commissions immediately.
I'll second.
All right, I'm not sure if this is we had a hang up earlier when there was a motion made. Is this I will look to, I don't know, is this? Are they able to make a motion?
You may make a motion, it's final action that is restricted, since this was not noticed to have final action during this meeting, but you can make motions.
I would push back on that, as we've made motions in previous meetings, and I'm happy to pull those up if I need to.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to reinstate Commissioner Clouse to external boards and commissions. We'll open it up for discussion. The motioner has the right to begin discussion, so that is to you, Commissioner Clouse.
Yes, I do have a discussion point. I was elected to serve the people of Thurston County, and the continued restrictions on my ability to fulfill those responsibilities, particularly when the allegations have been found unsubstantiated, are untenable. The investigation has already taken far too long, and the lack of resolution is creating confusion among our partners and impacting the county's ability to function efficiently.
Commissioner Edwards?
I guess I'd just like to take this opportunity to point out that no members on the Board of County Commissioners, except Commissioner Clouse, brought this to our attention as a problem through her inappropriate actions. I'm not going to get into what those are, because I think, again, council has advised us to stay out of this, so I'm going to leave it at that. But nobody else except Commissioner Clouse brought this as a problem to the county. We've spent thousands of dollars, and that's the taxpayers paying for issues they should not have to ever deal with. But yet they are. We find ourselves here. I don't know why this has to escalate, but I've never been one to back down from a discussion on an inappropriate topic if it had to be. And as far as I'm concerned, this is an inappropriate topic at this time, due to council's advice.
Thank you, Commissioner
I'm
Edwards.
willing to vote.
Commissioner Menser?
I'm gonna ask, I don't know where everybody's vote is, but if previously it had been said that, back in September, it was, I think when we debated this last, most thoroughly, it was talked about waiting for the written report, and now it's a couple of months later and we don't have that report, and if that's still the position of my seatmates, I'm gonna assume for a moment that it is. I guess I'm wondering, is there some update that we can have about when we could see that? If that is the kind of pivotal thing that we're sort of waiting for in order to resolve this, because I haven't heard much about it here in the last couple of weeks. I thought it was kind of any day now type of thing, but I've been feeling that way for a few weeks, so I'm not sure.
Thank you. County Manager?
Yeah, thank you so much, Commissioner Menser. And I would agree that it has been a fluid process, but I understand from Human Resources, who's taken the lead on this second component of the investigation, that things should be wrapping up here in the next few days so that there could be a draft for their review, and then we would be scheduling hopefully in the first week of December, although it hasn't been confirmed, but we'd look to schedule an executive session to discuss it in detail with the full commission.
Okay. Are there any other comments from commissioners?
The only comment I'll say is in response to Commissioner Edwards, in terms of whether or not this discussion is appropriate. I feel it's extremely inappropriate to remove me from my external boards and commissions and then not show up to almost all of the meetings. And I won't call anybody out right now, but I just want to say, if you're going to remove a commissioner from external boards and commissions, then you should probably be attending those meetings.
All right. I stated from the beginning that I wasn't willing to change my position until after a report was issued. I'm going to stand by that. I'd heard it stated that the allegations were unsubstantiated. That was an opinion, I think, and it was stated by one commissioner that the most egregious allegations were unsubstantiated, not that all allegations were unsubstantiated. That I think I agree with, given that, but I would say that the most egregious allegations were ones of a criminal nature that I heard made by Commissioner Clouse herself against the subordinate that no longer works for us. And those criminal allegations seem to be unsubstantiated. But other than that, my biggest concerns are with some of the things that were admitted by Commissioner Clouse herself to us. And I'm not going to speak any further about that until after the report's out. And I think that the report will stand, and whatever comes out in that, you know, I'll make a decision for me at that point. But I'm not in favor of passing this motion, but I look forward to having a discussion about it after the report is issued, which it sounds like is soon.
I think it's interesting, Commissioner Fournier, that you bring up any criminal allegations that may have been made against the complainant. I believe any of those allegations of that nature would have had to be made in executive session. So do you care to elaborate the basis for bringing that up in a public meeting?
You just said that they were made in executive session, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from commissioners? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye, sorry.
Motion fails.
Was that a 4-to-1 vote, Chair?
Yes.
Ty Menser was an aye.
No, that was an aye. I just didn't get my mute off quickly enough.
All right, I'll call for a vote again. All those in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
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 Those in favor of not passing the motions, or no, those against the motion, say nay.
Hey,
Nay. All right, it is 2-3. Motion fails. All right. Any other commissioner items? Hearing none, that concludes the agenda. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.